Hey guys, it's me, Lee, and today we're doing another book haul. That seems to be all that I've been putting up is TBR book hauls and reading vlogs and writing vlogs. My apologies, I wish there was more I could put up, but I don't unhaul very often and I don't have enough books to make like listed videos saying these are the best 5 books I have for this so-and-so subject. Yet, at least. So, my apologies. But we are doing another book haul. And, I hope you guys enjoyed. Alright, for the first book, it is Straight On Till Morning, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. I got this off of Amazon. Like I said, most of my books, at least in the last videos, I get most of my books off of Amazon, Goodwill, or the Dollar Tree, etc., etc. Somewhere cheap, basically, that I can get it off for not so expensive prices. So, this, Straight On Till Morning, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell, as I said before, is a Disney book, but it is Peter Pan, and it's what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook. And I love the idea of the twisted tales. You don't have to read these ones in order, I don't think, these particular ones, the twisted tales themselves. I don't think. I looked it up and I didn't see anything on it, so I'm just assuming that I can read it in any order I want in this particular one. So let me read you a little bit about it. 16-year-old Wendy Darling's life is not what she imagined it would be. The doldrums of an empty house after her brothers have gone to school, the dull parodies where everyone thinks she talks too much, and the fact that her parents have decided to send her away to Ireland as a governess. It makes her wish things could be different. Wendy's only real escape is in writing down tales of Neverland. After nearly meeting her hero Peter Pan 4 years earlier, she still holds on to the childhood hope that his magical room truly exists. She also holds on to his shadow. So when the opportunity to travel to Neverland via pirate ship presents itself, Wendy makes a deal with the devil. But Neverland isn't quite the place she imagined it would be. Unexpected dangers and strange foes pop up at every turn, and a little pixie named Tinkerbell seems less than willing to help her. But when Captain Hook reveals some rather permanent and evil plans for Neverland, it's up to the two of them to save Peter Pan and his world. So, doesn't it sound good? I mean, I'm a huge Peter Pan fan, so this is just one of the many that I want to read. It's thicker than most of my Peter Pan retellings are, so I'm excited. It seems like an easy read when I started reading it before. Some of the pages are folded, I just now noticed that. Got this off of Amazon for real cheap. Not for $13.49, I got it for like $6, but next is a manga that I purchased a long time ago, and I got rid of the first volume for some reason. I don't remember why. But I enjoyed it enough to want to read it again. So I purchased it again, and it's called Bride of the Water God, Volume 1 by Mi-Kyung. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It's like this. I got this off of Amazon also for like $1 or something. I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, and I'm probably going to pronounce everyone else's name wrong too, so forgive me. When Soa's impoverished, desperate village decides to sacrifice her to the water god Habek to end a long drought, they believe that drowning one beautiful girl will save their entire community and bring much needed rain. Not only is Soa surprised to be rescued by the water god instead of killed, she never imagined she would be a welcome guest in Habek's magical kingdom, where an exciting life awaits her. Most surprising, however, is the water god himself, and how very different he is from the monster Soa imagined. So, I really liked the first one. I never got past the first one because I never bought the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., etc. But I really wanted to read it again. I was like, why did I give it up to begin with? I think it was just one of those stages where I was like, I'm just going to give up a whole bunch of shit. Because that happens to me occasionally. Now I'll just get rid of a whole bunch of stuff that I may or may not want to keep. Has that happened to you? Because that happens to me quite often. I just got this in the mail yesterday. It is from Amazon. I believe the newest season of American Horror Story, Delicate, is based or inspired on this book. I think I read that somewhere. I could be wrong. It's called Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine. But when I read the description of this book, I was like, I really want to read this. And it looks brand spanking new for like $2 that I spent on it, not including the shipping, which is like $3.99. So, so it looks brand spanking new for a book that was, you know, so cheaply put on Amazon. Anna Alcott is desperate to have a family, but she tries to balance her life as an indie actress with a grueling IVF journey. She starts to suspect that someone is going to great lengths to make sure that never happens. Crucial medicines are lost, appointments get swapped, cryptid warnings have her jumping at shadows, and despite everything she's gone through to make this pregnancy a reality, not even her husband is willing to believe that someone is playing a twisted games with her. Then her doctor claims she had a miscarriage, except Anna's convinced she's still pregnant, despite everything the grave-faced men around her say. She can feel the baby moving inside her. She can see the strain it's taking on her weakening body. Vague warnings become direct threats, and as her symptoms and sense of danger grow even more horrifying, Anna can't help but wonder what exactly she's carrying inside her, and why no one will listen when she says something is horribly, painfully wrong. That sounds good. It sounds so good. I really want to read it. So that's also a book that I bought for real cheap on Amazon. Okay, the next 3 books, I don't know if I'm going to read to you. Well, let me see. So I'm not going to read you the backs of these because they have the same character as one of the other books of the same person made. And I don't know if... One says it's number 2 to her series of, I think that one particularly. And the other 2 don't have numbers on them. So I don't know what order these are in for the series that she's written. But I found these at Goodwill. I found like 2 other ones also at Goodwill. But they were out of order in the numbers. So I was like, I'll just leave these here. By Kara Mary Moning. One's called Ice by Fever Novel. Bloodfever. And Feverborn. I like the picture of this one. But yes, I don't know what order they're in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put them in the sequel pile. Just in case they are sequels. So when I get to those books, I can see which one is... Oh, now it's really blurry. This also I got from Goodwill for $1.91. And of course the stickers covering the back. Luckily I watched the movie, so I know a thing or two what it's about. I'm going to read you the back of it because I'm not good at explanations. The book that I'm talking about is a movie called The Duff by Kody Keplinger. 17-year-old Bianca Piper may not be the prettiest girl in her school, but she has a loyal group of friends, a biting wit, and a spot-on BS detector. She's also too smart to fall for the charms of man-sluts and slimy school hottie Wesley Rush, who calls Bianca the Duff, the designated ugly fat friend of her crew. But things aren't so great at home, and Bianca, desperate for a distraction, ends up kissing Wesley. Worse, she likes it. Eager for escape, Bianca throws herself into a closet of enemies with benefits relationship with him, until it all goes horribly airy. Turns out Wesley isn't such a bad listener, and his life is pretty screwed up too. Suddenly Bianca realizes with absolute horror that she's fallen for the guy she thought she hated more than anyone. So it doesn't sound exactly like the movie. From what the book sounds like, it doesn't sound exactly like the movie. But it sounds good either way. I mean, I want to read it. Whenever I watch a movie, I like to read the books or TV shows and read the books afterwards. Because although I'm a writer, I have a horrible sense of imagination. Like, when I'm reading books, I can't imagine what's going on very easily without really, really trying. It's especially hard for me when it comes to fantasy books. Hence Game of Thrones. I watched the entire series, now I'm reading the books. And it's easier for me to imagine the world than just reading it if I hadn't watched the TV series. I'd be really struggling trying to figure out what's going on and seeing what was explained to me. Even if it's really well explained, I still have a hard time picking up what they're trying to tell me. And it sucks. It really does suck because it's like, I want to read more books. The last 2 books. One tricked me. It tricked me just a tiny bit. I got this at Goodwill. And I thought it was a manga until I got home and I opened it and it's a novel. I know these exist. I've known these exist. I used to be really, really into anime when I was younger. I still watch anime now with my husband every single night, but I'm not as big into it as I was when I was younger. And I knew these existed. I just never really... They're rare in between. So it's kind of like, okay. But the way this one sounded for a title, I was like, oh, that's a manga. I'll pick that up from my husband. Because he really likes... It's isekais. And, it's basically when you pass away in your real world and you go into another world, which is like a fantasy world, and you're like a hero or a villain or etc. It sounded just like... And I didn't want to read it. So I was like, okay, I'll just pick it up also. Didn't I say to make my ability... Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? By story by Funa, illustrated by Itsuki Akata. Looks like this. Doesn't it just look like a manga? I mean, it's a little thick for a manga, I'll admit, but it's like, that's a manga. Okay, I'll just pick it up for my husband. He'll be so happy. And, no. I mean, it has pictures in it, don't get me wrong, but it's a fucking novel. Alright, let me read you it. When gifted student Kurihara Misato dies right after her high school graduation, she meets God and has a peculiar request: to make her abilities average in the next life. But few things, especially wishes, ever go quite as planned. As she navigates her new life as a 10-year-old girl in a magic-filled world, she realizes God has a unique definition of average. And it sounds so good, because I love isekais too, like they're my favorites. Next to Inuyasha, which I grew up on. So I was so upset when I opened the book. I was like, and it was by accident how I opened the book too. I just picked it up and it flipped up to a page kind of situation. I was like, that's a novel! I was like, my husband's gonna hate me. He doesn't read novels. He's quite the opposite of me. But that book was only $1.91 at Goodwill. This next one I got from the Dollar Tree. Now, I read the back of this not reading the front of it completely. I don't know how I feel about it now, because I'll tell you why in a second. It's called Ellie is Cool Now, and it says International Phenomenon on Wattpad. Now, I have nothing against Wattpad. I put my fanfics on Wattpad also. I might put chapters of my books on Wattpad in the future, just chapters of it, so I can publish it on Amazon as an indie author. I don't like majority of the stories on Wattpad. I hate to say it, but a lot of them, majority of them, are not that great, and they make me cringe a lot. And I hate to say that, because I believe that everyone should be, their own creativity, do their own creativity things. But I hate to admit that I don't like a lot of them. It makes me sad because I want to read a lot of them, because a lot of them sound amazing. Like, a lot of the storylines are like, wow, that sounds really freaking good. So I was very upset when I read that. I was like, I haven't read a page of it yet, so maybe it will be really good. It's by Victoria Fulton and Faith McClaren. Looks like this. Let me read you a little bit about it. TV writer Ella Jenkins worked her butt off to put her nerdy outcast teen years behind her. So there's a certain delicious irony in that she works for a hit show about popular high school kids when she was so not cool, and now she's been offered the promotion of a lifetime if she attends her reunion. But Ellie's memory of high school hell isn't nearly as traumatic as reality. No one at the reunion is what Ellie expected. Not her ex-best friend, who still has the ability to see right through Ellie, and not her secret crush, who has only gotten hotter, sexier, and even way more complicated. The only way she's going to survive this school's weird ordeal is by fixing her bad high school karma, kissing the boy who got away, and getting the hell out of Ohio for good. But Ellie's discovering that in real life she can't just rewrite the script. Doesn't that sound good? I mean, it sounds good. That's why I picked it up. I was like, I like the whole, when you get older, everything about you changes and you go back and you relive your life a little bit. Like Never Been Kissed. I like that one. The movie. So I was like, that sounds really good. And it was only $1.25 from the Dollar Tree. So I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. So hopefully it is as good as it sounds. And it's not one of those Wattpad's stories that just made me sad face. Anyway, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.